Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. All together, please. Om Jnana Timarandasya Ganandana Salakaya Chakshuram Nalitanyena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stabhitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yukta Padakamalang Shri Gurun Vaishnavangscha Shri Rupam Sagrijatam Sahagana Raganatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvetam Savadutam Prijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakam Vitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dhina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapcha Kanchana Gaurange Radhe Vrindavanishwari Rishabhana Sutadevi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpadharubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Bhevacha Patitanam Pavnebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So reading from Srimad Bhagavad-Gita as it is, translation and commentary by His Divine Grace, Srila Asa Bhaktivedanta Goswami Maharaj, Srila Prabhupada. Chapter 10, Opulence of Absolute. Today is verse number 3, correct? Yo mamma jamanadim cha Viti loka maheshwaram asamudhasa marteshu sava papai pramuchyate. Please repeat word for word. Yaha, anyone who, mam, me, ajam, unborn, anadim, without beginning, cha, also, Viti, knows, Loka, of the planets, Mahesha Ishwaraha, the Supreme Master, Asambuddha, undeluded, Saha, he, Mateshu, among those subject to death, Sarvapape, from all sinful reactions, is delivered. Translation, Srila Prabhupada. He who knows me as the unborn, as the beginningless, as the Supreme Lord of all the worlds, he only, undeluded among men, is freed from all sins. Please repeat. He who knows me as the unborn, as the beginningless, as the Supreme Lord of all worlds, he only, undeluded among men, is freed from all sins. So very comprehensive purport by Srila Prabhupada. So, please pay attention while I read, as best can be done. Purport. As stated in the 7th chapter, 7.3, Manusyanam Sahasreshu Kaschid Yatiti Siddhaye. Those who are trying to elevate themselves to the platform of spiritual realization are not ordinary men. They are superior to millions and millions of ordinary men who have no knowledge of spiritual realization. But out of those who actually are trying to understand their spiritual situation, one who can come to the understanding that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the proprietor of everything, the unborn, is the most successful spiritually realized person. In that stage only, when one has fully understood Krishna's supreme position, one be free completely from all sinful reactions. Here the Lord is described by the words aja, meaning unborn. But he is distinct from the living entities who are described in the second chapter as aja. The Lord is different from the living entities who are taking birth and dying due to material attachment. The conditioned souls are changing their bodies, but his body is not changeable. Even when he comes to this material world, he comes as the same unborn. Therefore, in the fourth chapter, it is said that the Lord, by his internal potency, is not under the inferior material energy, but is always in the superior energy. In this verse, the words Vetiloka Maheshwaram indicate that one should know that Lord Krishna is the supreme proprietor of the planetary systems of the universe. He was existing before the creation, and he is different from his creation. All the demigods were created within this material world, but as far as Krishna is concerned, it is said that he is not created. Therefore, Krishna is different even from the great demigods like Brahma and Shiva. And because he is the creator of Brahma, Shiva, and all the other demigods, he is the supreme person of all planets. Sri Krishna is therefore different from everything that is created, and anyone who knows him as such immediately becomes liberated from all sinful reactions. One must be liberated from all sinful activities to be in the knowledge of the Supreme Lord. Only by devotional service can he be known, and not by any other means, as stated in Bhagavad-Gita. One should not try to understand Krishna as a human being. As stated previously, only a foolish person thinks him to be a human being. This is again expressed here in a different way. A man who is not foolish, who is intelligent enough to understand the constitutional position of the Godhead, is always free from all sinful reactions. If Krishna is known as the son of Devaki, then how can he be unborn? That is also explained in the Srimad Bhagavatam. When he appeared before Devaki and Vasudeva, he was not born as an ordinary child. He appeared in his original form, and then he transformed himself into an ordinary child. Anything done under the direction of Krishna is transcendental. It cannot be contaminated by material reactions, which may be auspicious or inauspicious. The conception that there are things auspicious and inauspicious in the material world is more or less a mental concoction, because there is nothing auspicious in the material world. Everything is inauspicious because the very material nature is inauspicious. We simply imagine it to be auspicious. Real auspiciousness depends on activities in Krishna consciousness in full devotion and service. Therefore, if we at all want our activities to be auspicious, then we should work under the directions of the Supreme Lord. Such directions are given in authoritative scriptures, such as Srimad Bhagavatam and the Bhagavad-Gita, or from a bona fide spiritual master. Because the spiritual master is the representative of the Supreme Lord, his direction is directly the direction of the Supreme Lord. The spiritual master, saintly persons, and scriptures direct in the same way. There is no contradiction in these three sources. All actions done under their direction, such direction, are free from the reactions of pious or impious activities in this material world. The transcendental attitude of devotee in the performance of activities is actually that of a renunciation, and it is called Sannyas. As stated in the first verse of the 6th chapter of the Bhagavad-Gita, one who acts as a matter of duty because he has been ordered to do so by the Supreme Lord, and who does not seek shelter in the fruits of his activities, anashrita karma phalam, is a true renouncer. Anyone acting under the direction of the Supreme Lord is actually a sannyasi and a yogi, and not the man who has simply taken the dress of a sannyasi or a pseudo-yogi. Yes, okay. Prabhupada puts a bit of spice there at the end, right? Anyone acting under the direction of the Lord is actually a sannyasi and a yogi, and not the man who has simply taken the dress of a sannyasi or a pseudo-yogi. That is one of the qualities of an acharya given in the Shastra. Bhakti-Siddhanta Prabhupada, he made that very clear, that when the acharya appears, a bona fide powerful acharya, first thing he does is to expose the false religious philosophies. Because it is by those false religious philosophies people go to hell. So, how to avoid going to hell? You see this? Yo mam ajam anadim cha veti loka maheshwaram asamudho samarteshu sava pape pramuchyate. He who knows me as the unborn, as the beginningless, as the supreme Lord of all the worlds, he only, undiluted among men, is free from all sins. Okay, what are those three things? Don't look at the book. Everyone's looking. You want to be free from all sin? What are those three things? Now, if I was to say, look, drink this water, you'll be free from all sins, you'll be very eager. Now, here's Krishna telling you that if you know three things, you'll be freed from all sin. You'll be, So, beginningless. Very good. Anadim. And then? Sarvaloka Maheshwaran. That's number 3. Number 2? Unborn. Sorry, first one is unborn. Sorry. Ajja. Unborn. We are Ja. We're coming from the womb of a mother. Or we're coming from Krishna, ultimately. What is that verse in the Gita? Aham pita. Yeah, pita pita. I am the I am the seed-giving father. But he himself is Ajja. He's unborn. He is his own cause. He is his self-sustaining cause. Therefore, as Prabhupada pointed out in the purport, he is different from us. We are dependent, he is independent. He is the creator, we are the creation. So, to understand that we are unborn, this is the first thing. The Lord is unborn. He has as what does Lord Brahma say? Ishvara Parama Krishna Satchidananda Vigraha. Anadir. He's the source of all persons. And Lord Brahma, he says, Govindam Adi Purisham. The original person. So this is very important because Krishna, he is the source of everyone. And he is the original, he is the first. So he is the origin, and yet he is his own origin. So this is Ajja. So somebody might say, okay, Krishna made himself appear. He's got great power. No. Anadim cha. He's beginningless. It's not that some out of, there was a big blackness or a big vacuum or something. Of course, that is not nothing, that is something. Right? Nothing can't create nothing because it doesn't exist. If you think, oh, nothing is a dark space or a vacuum, well, that is something. So there is only creation. Do you understand? Because non-existence, by definition, does not exist. So when the stupid material scientists say, everything came from nothing, nothing exploded, there was a big bang, this is virtually insanity. Because nothing doesn't exist in the first place, so how can it explode? Right? If I have nothing in my pocket, that means I can't buy anything. I have nothing to get anything with. I can't, even a 5-year-old child, we've said many times, if he has nothing in his pocket, he can't buy any toffees. If you say to a child, go to the shop and get your sweets, it's Saturday. The child will, I've got nothing in my pocket. So then the parent might say to the child, don't worry, everything comes from nothing. Well, the child will say, well, yes, you believe that, but the sweet shop owner is not so insane. If I want sweets, I have to have some toffee money. Anyway, so the material world now, in this time of Kali Yuga, atheism is rampant. And it is all based on this stupid idea, everything came from nothing. Even in the man-made scriptures, they say, in the beginning was the Word, the Logos, and then everything appeared. So actually, what passes as the scientists' idea, everything coming from nothing, actually it's derived from Genesis. In the beginning was the Word, nothing else, and then everything appeared. But we don't say that. We say that the Supreme Lord is beginningless, He's eternal. We experience past, present, and future, but the Supreme Lord is beyond. His existence is beyond material time. It's another sphere of existence. And the conditions in that sphere of existence are different from here. Here we're bound by time and place, right? I can't go back to tomorrow. I can't go to the future. I'm bound by time and place. I'm in one place at one time. But the Supreme Lord, relative to the material world, He tells Arjuna, I know everything that happened in the past, everything that will happen in the future, and everything that's happening now. I'm not bound by time and place. I know everything. So this is the inconceivable person, beginningless. Therefore our Gaudiya philosophy and the Vedic philosophy is achincha beda bed. Achincha. It means beyond material speculation, beyond the material mind, which is so bound by material time and space. The Supreme Lord is the source of material time and space. He is not bound by it. Just like the father of a house, very crude example. He is the source of his children, but he's not bound by his children. He is the controller. Therefore, the Ishopanishad invocation, Om Purnam Madap Purnamidam Purnat Purnat Udachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnam Eva Vasishyate. Everything that emanates from the Supreme Lord is perfect and complete. The Supreme Lord is perfect and complete. And then all emanations from Him are perfect and complete, and perfectly equipped as complete wholes. They are all complete in themselves. They partake of His completeness. But Ishavasha idam sarvam yat kinchat jagajam jagat. That the Supreme Lord, He is the controller. So just in the same way that we emanate children, say in a mundane family, we are the controller of those children, are we not? We send them to school, we feed them, we tell them when to go to bed. And why can we control them? Because we have emanated them. They are our property in the material sense. So everything belongs to Krishna, Sarvaloka Maheshwaram. You understand? Everything is, sometimes God gave this land to our tribe. That's often, somebody had a dream and he gave God. No, everything belongs to the Supreme Lord. We don't say anything, any object, any person, or any land belongs to anyone other than the Supreme Lord. Sarvaloka Maheshwaram. So what are those three things? Ajja. Beginningless? Yes. And he is Sarvaloka Maheshwara. He is a controller because everything has emanating from him. It is his property. Just like if you make a painting, you can claim it's my property in a material sense. Can you not? I created this nice seaside scene with boats and so on and so forth. It's my painting. So the Supreme Lord can claim proprietorship over everything because he is the source. He is the source of us. And therefore whatever we produce is by his grace. If he has created this material universe, Sarvaloka Maheshwaram, then he can claim it is mine because I have created it. Now the thing is, you have a child, you have a painting in your house, and you say, oh, I'm giving birth to children, I'm making a house, I'm cooking them food. What's the whole end point of it? Why does a man and a woman get married and have children? Nobody else? Everyone's a renunciate here? Nobody's had any children? Why do you have children, Mataji? Yes. Yes, because you want to enjoy, right? You want to enjoy. You want to enjoy your children. You want to feed them, you want to cuddle them, you want to see them grow up, you want to see them learn to dance, you want to see them have their own children, be their own persons, right? So you're enjoying, are you not? People get married because they want to enjoy. They want to enjoy children, they want to enjoy status in society. A married woman, especially in Hindu society, has higher status than unmarried, correct? At least that's what I'm told. So that is the final point. The Supreme Lord is the source, therefore everything belongs to him. He's the source, therefore everything is controlled by him. He is the source of all the principles in the creation. The karmic principles, the good and bad relative things. We'll talk about this in a while. But the final point is why. There's an expression in English. Lovers need their audience. It comes from Shakespearean concept. That two lovers, they're lovers, but also they want to share their love with everyone. And they enjoy. They like to go out with their friends. And they like to show their affection for their wife and children in front of other people. They enjoy that way. They feel, and they share their friends. So why are we created? We are created because Krishna wants us to enjoy with him. He wants to enjoy existence eternally, with his great devotees, with his entourage, with his creation. But the problem is we're trying to enjoy in this inferior creation. And we're on a great journey. Vedas explain 8,400,000 species of life, right? 400,000 human. And we have been journeying through 8,400,000 species of life. How many lifetimes? How many creations of Brahma? Who knows? Have we not? And that is a subtle, we've been journeying through time. We've been journeying through different places. We've been in Croatia. We've even been to hellish planets like America or the North Pole, or we've been in Bhuloka, Swagaloka. We may have been to Atala, Vitala, Sutala, Vitala, Patala, Narak. We've been traveling everywhere. And through all time, through all species. But we've also been traveling through all sorts of philosophies, have we not? Especially now in Kali Yuga, there's, you turn your head and there's a bogus philosophy. Capitalism, socialism, feminism. I've changed feminism to fake menism. So, then, how many isms? Now globalism is being forced down our throats. Every ism, animal liberation. Then there's communism, socialism, national socialism. It's another ism every weekend. And so we've been traveling through those philosophies also, have we not? Huh? I remember reading this when I was, 18, 9, and then reading Shakespeare and reading this philosophy and reading this. We're traveling. Now, if you see a child crying in the temple, what do? You say you have a good heart. You want to stop the child crying. What do? It's a little toddler. The mother, Mataji, you're the intelligent one tonight. You're the fearless one. What would you do? Huh? Yes, you want, and particularly the mother. Yes, see, you can see the obvious thing. Men are too intellectual. They can't see the simple thing. The child, you take the child and find the mother. And then immediately the child will stop crying. Right? Now I'm home, now I'm safe. Huh? So that is Krishna consciousness. We have come to this material world, we've rejected the chance of taking up the service of Krishna, we've fallen into illusion, we've fallen into mental and bodily identification, and we're thinking this material world will make us happy. And we've traveled through every species of life, time, place, circumstance, philosophy, and everyone is restless. Particularly you see in Bhumandala. Everyone has got to have a motorbike, and they've got to take over. Even though they're stopping in 20 meters, they have to take you over or something. Have you noticed? And it doesn't matter if there's 100 people in the road, they think that the button beep, has a magic power. Suddenly all the cars and people will clear if I beat my horn. So this is Kali Yuga. People are stupid. They don't know, but they're restless. Passion and ignorance. They have to do this, they have to do that. But unless they come to the source, Bija, the seed-giving Father, unless they will always be restless. They'll never be satisfied. Just like the child wants the mother. This is my source of sustenance. With my mother I'm safe. So in this material world, nobody is safe. Because look, as Krishna says here, is freed from all sins. Nobody is safe. Because this environment is karma bhumi. You're living in a place where you get reaction for your activities. You might think, I was just listening, it was a YouTube video, and there was a learned person on, and that person, find the mother. And that learned person was on, and he was describing different concepts of reincarnation. And he was like saying the Luciferians, they believe that they'll be reincarnated. So they don't really worry about what's going to happen in the future, because they believe, I'm a man now, and I'm a banker, and in my next life I'll be another man, another banker in the same family. But then this person said, but the Hindus, he said, they don't believe that. They have a different theory of reincarnation. If you do bad things, if you start wars for profit, and then you have a construction company after the war, so you can make money during the war and after the war, and you do all these hellish things, he didn't say it like this, then you will not be a man in your next life. You are bound for Narak. And then you'll have to come up through all those species of life, from bugs, animals, slime, plants, animals. You'll have to come up. It'll take you millions of lifetimes. This is a very dangerous situation. That if we perform bad activities, what is it? What is that? Nahabra kramana shosti pratyanvayana vidide svapamapyusa trayate mahatobayat. That a little advancement on Krishna consciousness can protect you, trayate, deliver you, the greatest type of fear. And the greatest fear, Krishna is explaining in that case, is that you fall into animal species. Right? If you go to the Nature Channel or Discovery Channel or whatever, and you look at what the animals are doing, they're just biting each other's heads off. It's not a good place to be. I remember once Prabhupada's giving a lecture, and he was explaining Varnashram. And at the end of the lecture, Prabhupada asked, I think it was in Edinburgh, he asked a question, any questions? And this man stood up and he started haranguing. He said, I don't care about, and Prabhupada explained that if you do bad things, you'll get low birth in your next life. And this person, I don't care. If I become a dog in the next life, what is the problem? So Prabhupada said, you have my blessing. Of course, Prabhupada was dismissing him because he was being very abusive. You don't give spiritual knowledge to your enemy or somebody who's acting as your enemy. So, but the point is, people are so foolish in Kali Yuga that they don't even know the theory of reincarnation. They don't know that there's a result for their activities. They go to science in college and they hear about action and reaction, and the laws of action, and unless there's an external force, an object will continue in steady motion, and they learn all these things. But they think that just applies to asteroids in space. It doesn't apply to me. What I do, there's no reaction for what I do. If I lie, steal, and cheat, I'm not an asteroid in space. I won't get a reaction. So people are so stupid and they're all bound for hell. Another lecture Prabhupada said, if people take intoxication, they will go to hell. If people take meat, they will go to hell. Of course, we have 4 principles. So, and also Prabhupada, I have heard that Prabhupada said, Prabhupada, many disciples have fallen away. Prabhupada said, as long as they stay vegetarian, they remain my disciples. So people are very foolish. They're living and they're indoctrinated with foolishness. They're indoctrinated by the school system. Why? What for? To salute the flag of your country, get a job, and pay taxes. Okay, you've understood those 3 things, your education is finished. You're going to pay tax, you're going to work hard like a donkey, and you're going to salute a flag and die in some foreign country. That is the education nowadays. There's no spiritual but what does Krishna? Vedescha sarve aham eveda ved. By all the Vedas I am to know. Vedanta krit vedavid evacha aham. The Vedas is the autobiography of Krishna. Try to understand this point. That somebody might write an autobiography about me. But they don't know me properly. They just get historical sources. So it'll be a vague picture of me. But if I write an autobiography, I can accurately describe everything. So the Vedas are Krishna's description of himself. Vedanta krit Vedavid eva chaham. Vedaischa sarve aham veva vedya. That I am to be known by the Vedas, and I have written the Vedas so that people can know me. And here in this verse, Krishna is making it very clear that if you understand that he is the source, the creator, unborn, the source of all people, and the Sarvaloka Maheshwaram, then you overcome sin. You overcome the laws of karma. And then, because why? Because at that point you'll start to meditate upon the Supreme Lord. What is that verse in the Ishupanishad, number 6? Yastu sarva bhutani sarva bhuteshvara tato na vidyagapshate. 3 things also there. Krishna explains, one who knows me, one who sees everything in relationship to me. This is the point. If you understand this, that Krishna is unborn and he's the source of everything, then you must see everything in relationship to him. Right now we're educated to see everything in relationship to atoms and molecule and chance, physical effects. But the devotee, through knowledge, the Shastra Shakshus, he sees everything is related to the Supreme Lord, because everything is emanated. So this is a whole different way to see the world, is it not? This is the spiritual way to see the world. Everything is related to the Supreme Lord. Then sarva bhuteshu chatmanam, that all living entities are my fragmental parts. Mavai vamsa jiva loke jiva bhuta sanatana. So you can think, those first 2, you can think the energy, it's related to Krishna. Then you can think the second thing, the people are related to Krishna. And then sarva sachatmanam, yes. And that the third thing in that verse is that everything is within Krishna. So this is a chincha. Everything has emanated from Krishna. So you might think Krishna's here and all the creation has expanded outwards. But no. What did Mother Yashoda see when she looked in the mouth of Krishna? Tell us. She saw Krishna there, right? She saw herself with Krishna on her lap. So she's looking inside Krishna and she's seeing herself inside Krishna. So everything is the creation of Krishna, yet it remains within Krishna. Because beyond the Supreme Lord, there is no creation. And as we've already explained earlier, there is no such thing as non-existence. Non-existence, by definition, doesn't exist. There is only creation. And that is beginningless. So if we have this vision, then we're on the path to becoming Uttamadhikari, Paramahamsa devotee. And we're freed. The first step is given here. Sarva pape pramuchyate, right? Sarva pape pramuchyate. You're delivered. Why? Because now you've actually come to your real education, that everything is related to the Supreme Lord. And if you absorb those ideas and you contemplate, and this is what a devotee should do, he shouldn't just read this as if it's a Coca-Cola advertisement. Oh, this is a very interesting idea. Yeah, okay, what's on television tonight? then this is stupidity. This means, okay, go back to birth and death. What does Krishna say? Ashradha dhana purusha dharma sasya parantapa aprapyamam nivartante mrityu samsaravatmani. Those who are not faithful on this process cannot attain me, but return to birth and death in the material world. This is Krishna's words. So the whole thing is, the education should be directed so that people learn the cause of all causes, the source. And they learn to meditate on that. That's what the great sages are doing. Just like here, we have 3 things to meditate. Aja, Krishna's unborn. So we can just read that, Aja, and pass it off. Or we can go to the temple and chant some mala, and we can meditate on this point. Krishna is unborn. And then it becomes fixed within our consciousness. Then we can go to the temple and with Anada, he's the source of everyone. And we contemplate that. And then the third, he's the Sarvaloka Maheshwara, because everything has come from him. Everything is his property. We can't call this land is mine, this land is yours. That is the source of all the conflict. Territory. People want territory. So this is this verse. When does the verse class finish? 6 o'clock. Okay. But there's one point, and I must say it because in the last purport, this is very important. Prabhupada talks about everything is bad in this material world. Everything is inauspicious. What? Because in the material world, it's what's called moral relativism, or relativism. It means you judge everything in relationship to yourself. I've given the example before, just like a polar bear. If you go to the North Pole and you sit next to the polar bear, you can talk to the polar bear and say, oh, it's cold today. And what will the polar bear say? You should be here in winter. Then it's cold. It's so cold in winter, I sleep for 6 months. It's warm today. So you're sitting next to the polar bear, you think it's a warm day. I mean a cold day at the North Pole. He's thinking it's a warm day. Now you go with a friend to a cricket match, and he starts shouting for Pakistan or Australia. He thinks they're the greatest team, but you're shouting for India. Huh? Why? Because you're identifying, I was born in Lucknow, so I support the Indian team. He was born in Afghanistan, so he supports the Pakistani team. So it's all relative to themselves. So therefore, a communist person is thinking capitalism is bad. And a capitalist person is thinking communism is bad. And then the left-wing people are looking at the conservative people and saying they're bad. And the conservative people are looking at the left-wing and they're bad. This is called relativism. They're judging according to themselves what is good and bad. But on the absolute plane, which is described here in the verse, everything is inauspicious about the material world because it's a place of birth, death, old age and disease. And a devotee doesn't think, I support Indian team, not Pakistan. I support left-wing politics, not right-wing. I support veganism, not thisism, that isn't. He right-wing. He doesn't think like that because he knows this is all illusory. Now you're a communist, next week you could be a capitalist. Now you're a socialist, next minute you could be an anarchist. So this is relativism. And this is the third state of consciousness. In the deep sleep, there's no external consciousness. It's all withdrawn. That is called susupti. Then there is swapna. In the stage of dreaming state, you're a little bit more conscious. You're dreaming, I'm a king or a China, I'm in China, or the tiger is chasing me, or the wife is happy with me. We have so many dreams. Then we awake to Jagra, and it will become relative to myself. I'm Australian, therefore I don't like New Zealand. I'm a black man, therefore I don't like white people. I'm a Jew, therefore I don't like Muslims. I'm a Christian, therefore everyone else is a pagan. Friends and enemies, relative to our own position and philosophy and place. This is the whole material world. Everyone is fighting over illusory, false definitions. And they're all based on what I think. Me. I'm the center of the universe. What I decide to be correct and moral, and my judgment is supreme. And therefore everyone is talking. Huh? They're talking in the parliaments. They're talking in the street. They're talking at the chai shop. And it's all about what's right or wrong. But the material world, it's all bad. It's all inauspicious. Because if you try and decide what's good and bad in this material world, you'll stay in the material world. Huh? Just like you read 17th chapter, Srimad Bhagavatam, Parikshit Maharaj, who was touring the kingdom, he came across Dharma. And Kali, dressed as a king, was beating Dharma. And Parikshit, what is happening here? And he turned to Dharma, and Dharma didn't point out Kali. Kali had been beating, dressed as a king. Kali Yuga means false leaders, quarrel, hypocrisy. So the personality of Dharma explained that some philosophies say this, some philosophers have karma monks, some philosophers have this idea, some philosophers have this idea. But for myself, I just think that what is happening, that has the sanction of the Supreme Lord, and I take it as His grace. So this is, and then Parikshit Maharaj said, you are the personality of religion. That person who decides good and bad, and who is the perpetrator, and who is that person that is being vanquished or attacked, that person, he is bound for hell. He's bound for the material world. The material world is hell. So this is a very important point. The devotee must come to the absolute platform. He must come to the platform where everything, as I say, is seen in relationship to the Supreme Lord, and everything is His grace. That doesn't mean to say he sits under a tree. No, he acts for the Supreme Lord, just like Arjuna acted for the Supreme Lord at the end of the Bhagavad-Gita. Instead of acting for his material program, he acts in the service of Krishna. And as Prabhupada points out, he does that under the direction of a bona fide spiritual master, not a charlatan, as Prabhupada puts here. Huh? What is sannyas? 18th chapter you'll find. Arjuna asks Krishna, what is tyag? And Krishna answers, tyag means that you perform activities without attachment to the result. You're not greedy. Just like it says earlier in the Gita, klesho adhikarascha. You have a right, Arjuna, to perform your duty, but you don't have a right to the fruit, because I'm the creator. I facilitated everything. So the fruit belongs to the Supreme Lord. You perform your duty, your Dharma. So, this is the point, that everything on the absolute platform is done for the Supreme Lord. And then sannyas, Prabhupada mentions sannyas in the purport. Krishna explains to Arjuna, what is sannyas? Sannyas means that you are no longer materially motivated. Do you understand? Generally in the material world, everyone, I'm doing this for my family. I'm doing this for my wife. I'm doing this for my country. And I want the fruit. I'm doing this ultimately for me, to satisfy my desire. But that is not the transcendental platform. In the transcendental platform, through ecstatic love, the devotee is acting to satisfy the Supreme Lord and His Supreme Lord devotees. In the material world, everyone is acting to satisfy themselves. In the spiritual world, everyone is acting to satisfy the Supreme Lord and His devotees. They're not materially motivated by this relativism. They are acting on the absolute platform, as Prabhupada purports in the thing. So that is the goal. The goal isn't to learn how to put on a dhoti and tilak and make the president happy so that he doesn't throw you out and you have to get a job. The goal is to satisfy the Supreme Lord. The goal isn't to fill the belly. The goal isn't to satisfy curiosity. The goal is to be Swarup Siddhi, to be situated in your Swarup, your spiritual relationship with Krishna. So this is the beginning. Understanding that the Supreme Lord is the unborn original source. As Krishna says to Lord Brahma at the end of the Bhagavad-Gita, Aham hi visvasya characharasya bijam pradhanam prakritim pumamscha. He's explaining, Vide videhi tvam ato jaganti. He's explaining to Lord Brahma that I am four things. Aham bija, I am the seed. I am prakriti, the material nature. I am pumans. I am the seed, I am the pradhan, which is the basic substance of matter, which transforms into this variety. I am prakriti, I am the material nature. And last of all, I am the pumams, which means I am the enjoyer, the maintainer, the proprietor. So that's the end of the Brahma Samhita. Aham hi vishvasya characharasya bijam pradhanam prakritim pumamscha. Krishna gives four things. I'm the source. I'm the basic material energy, the pradhan. I'm the prakriti. I'm the variety of the material energy. And I am pumams. I'm the maintainer, enjoyer. So that is the vision of a devotee. And in sadhana bhakti, we cultivate that vision. You understand? If you don't cultivate this, then you're bound for another lifetime. Because Krishna is very careful. He says here, he undeluded amongst men, right? I think it's previous verse. Yeah, Prabhupada says that. Undeluded, it's in the purport. Yes. And very few people reach this. Manushanam Sahasreshu Kesi. Out of thousands of people, one will come to the understanding of spiritual life, and very few will come to Krishna. Many people just say, I believe in God. But actually the Vedic definition is Pashandi. If you have the wrong definition of God, you're still an atheist. For example, if you think my rickshaw is God, you're an atheist. Because you have the wrong definition of theist. You are atheist. You are against the idea of Krishna. You see, Krishna is the reality. He is the Supreme Lord. He's revealed. What is that? Param Dharma, Paramam, Pavitram, Paramam Mamam, Asita Devala Vyas. All the scriptures, all the great sages, and now you yourself, Arjuna says, are declaring this to me. But people think, I don't believe in Krishna, but I believe there's God. So Prabhupada was once faced with that argument. Because many people may say, I believe in God, but I don't believe in Krishna. They dismiss Krishna. So Prabhupada said, well then, look, what is your definition of God? Give me a better definition of God. Full stop. Well, God is a big bearded guy. He's got a bad temper. He destroys cities. And he sends people to hell for ever and ever. No, that's not a theistic definition. That's atheism. You're saying that God will send people to hell forever? That means you're against the right definition. That means you're an atheist. You're a Pashandi. You don't have the correct definition. Oh, I believe God is a big light in the sky. He's the light that shines through the sun. No. That's an aspect of him. There's the three things, right? The foolish person looks at the sun and thinks, that's God. The priest tells him that's God, the sun's God. And then another person thinks, well, that's God because of the energy coming through. Then a third person thinks, who's the source of that energy coming through the sun? That's the theist. That's the path of theism. What is the ultimate source? And Vedanta Sutra, Atato Brahma Jignas, what's the next sloka? How does Veda Vyas answer that? He starts his description of the Supreme Lord, Janmadhyashyata. And the Bhagavatam, Janmadhyashyata. The source is the Supreme Lord. You understand? The sun isn't the source. Ayers Rock, right? Some people, primitive people in Australia, they worship a big rock in the middle of the desert. So, okay, they're worshipping God in their own idea, but still they're Pashandi, because they don't have the correct definition. If a Mayavadi thinks that ultimately the explanation is a big field of energy, he's atheist, he's Pashandi. And Lord Brahma and Lord Nityananda might kick him on the head, as we see in his pastime, right? He came across the Buddhist meditating in the forest. The Buddhist, make the mind empty, avoid. Well, I can't avoid the void. Anyway, so Lord Nityananda, who are these people denying the existence of my Supreme Lord? And he started to chase them through the forest. He wanted to kick them on the head. Of course, if you get kicked on the head by Lord Nityananda, that's a blessing. So, this is the thing. The Vedas reveal the Supreme Lord. We should finish. Any questions at this point? And so we should understand the importance of this. We should not be asleep. You understand? What are those three things that save you? Sava pape pramuchite. First one though. Aja, unboard. No. Second, that's third. Anadim, yeah, well, beginningless. Yeah, Sarvaloka Maheshwaram, everything has come from him. But those beginningless, Aja, Anadim, beginningless, he's unborn, he has no beginning, so he's eternal. There's something to contemplate, and he's the source of everything. What's that verse? Advaitim achutim anadim anantarupam madhyam parana purusho navayovanam cha vedesha dola madolam. Oh no, sorry. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yes. Advaitim, he's one. Achutim, he never falls down. Anadim, beginningless. Ananta, he has unlimited forms. Anantarupam. Yes. Adya, so he's the source? Yeah. Purusha, he's the oldest. No, but he, yes. But still, but still he is a young, fresh youth, Navayovana. He's Krishna. Beyond time, playing the flute, and he's attracting everyone. Don't stay in this material world of fighting and good and bad and communism and socialism and all this. It's just hell. Come to me. All right? And be very careful. Rupa Goswami says, don't go to the bank of the Jamuna in the moonlight, where there's lotus floating on the Jamuna. Don't go there and see the form of Navayovanam, Krishna, Tribhanga, standing on the bank of the Jamuna with a flute, playing a melody that attracts the whole universe. Be very careful, because if you go there, you'll forget everything else. So be very careful. And you know, in the Shastra it explains that that flute song is the Maha Mantra in the material world. You know that? That Krishna's flute song is represented and manifest in the material world in the chanting of the pure devotees. And that's what Prabhupada did, right? He sat down in Tompkins Square Park and he chanted. He didn't even have a madanga. He just had it, and he chanted. And then people came. And then ISKCON grew. So ISKCON is based on the attraction of the holy name. And so that's what we're saying. We are embassy of the spiritual world. We say, come here, get the visa. No charge. Just surrender everything. But the first stage is to understand the philosophy. You understand? That will give you liberation, pramuchyate. You'll be delivered. Okay, we better finish now, or else we could talk forever. Any question, quick questions, clarification? So now everyone, when you go out that door, keep in mind that Krishna is the source, the eternal source. Then you've understood the class. Thank you all very much. Srila Prabhupada Bhagavad-Gita ki jai.